4 teams of cars 4 times down the track to see if they've got what it takes to be in the Junkyard Joust. It's the final episode of the Junkyard Joust Minor Leagues. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. Our first set of 4 include more than meets the eye with the most valuable car I've ever jousted, Optimus Prime. The second group features a new Looney Tunes team, and Winnebago is back with an all-new lineup. Let's take a closer look. We haven't seen Bikini Bottom since Season 2, and they did not do well, ended up in the Battle of the Losers. Vintage Vitriol did okay and made it to a main event, but they're not sure about this team, they want to test it out. We haven't seen Stranger Danger and all their vans since Season 3, nice to have them back. More Than Meets the Eye is a Transformers team, there's a couple Bumblebees, and of course the outrageously valuable Optimus Prime. The Transformers landed in the junkyard earlier, and they seem to have picked up some ideas from the Joust fans over by the mopeds. Or maybe they got some good advice from Cookie. We'll see how it works out for them in the Joust. All 4 teams will joust all 5 of their cars 4 times in a row. It's like doing round 1 of the joust 4 times. The teams will get points for every car that survives each round. Any cars that survive all 4 rounds without getting eliminated will net a bonus point for their team. The goal for each team is to rack up as many points as they can, and then at the end of the minor leagues, the top 10 teams in points will get to go compete in the regular Junkyard Joust. Once you see it in action, it's all going to make perfect sense. All the cars will be driving down at increased speeds, and our track buffer will be there to handle the first car, sponsored by Track Buffer LLC. Here we go. Each team is going to send all their cars down each round and get a point for any surviving cars. Right now, the teams are going to need a minimum of 15 points to get in the top 10, and Petey just went really high up into the sky after that ride down in Topo Fuel. Nice landing, though. No idea what height that was, but I'm guessing it was a lot higher than 12. The 7640 Conoline storms onto the scene, but does not manage to get an elimination on the Topo. It does basically clear the track though. Scourge rolls up, doesn't really hit too hard, maybe told by Optimus to take it easy on these Earth vehicles. Cookie flies out of second wind and lands over by Petey. They can hang out together and watch the rest of this round. Second wind stays locked in. But after a tiny hit from the sprint car for Vintage Vitriol, it goes curbside. The Custom 77 Dodge van takes out the sprint car, cannot take out second wind, however. Bad news for Vintage, good news for the bottoms. Bumblebee smacks the line and gets forced back, stays locked in somehow though. Looks like maybe Bumblebee didn't completely finish transforming before the match. Straight Pipes mixes things up, the Dodge van starts to topple. Straight Pipes almost off the track. The Bugatti Type 59 knocks it completely off the track and loses its engine cover in the process. Dodge van manages to stay alive. That engine cover was probably a liability anyway, who needs it? 71 Chevy van kicks the Bugatti off the track. It stops, looks like it's going to recover, and flips over finished. Vintage Vitriol with 2 losses already. Bumblebee Camaro comes on down and takes out that Chevy van, and maybe the other van too. Bumblebee is underneath Scourge, but gets pushed around. Scourge starts to escape. Even Bikini Bottoms have a van in this match. The Camaro is flipped upside down. Altered State for Vintage slots in. We got 3 cars backed up. Baja Breaker gets shunted upward by Altered State. It's got those big off-road tires, but it does manage to stay locked in. But then a nice undercut from Mirage throws it off the track. It does remain stable though. That'll be a survive for Stranger Danger. Mirage gets hurled into the crates and bounces back, makes that recovery happen. The Lotus Type 49 cannot get underneath Squidward, and this is a very tight line. Scooby-Doo van, even though fairly heavy, can't do anything and just locks in. And that was probably the most expensive hit in Junkyard Joust history. I saw a chunk fly off of Optimus, certainly devalued it almost completely. But hey, it's a lot of fun to see it in action. That is the end of the round. Looks like the Dodge is gonna be underneath 45 degrees. Let's see who's getting points. Bikini Bottoms excelled in that round. 5 points for them, a great start. More Than Meets the Eye, 4 points. Pretty good start for them. Stranger Danger gets 3, that's right in the middle of the road. And Vintage Vitriol also gets 3, not too shabby. Only 5 total eliminations, and Bikini Bottoms take the lead in round 1. Round 2, here we go, starting off with Stranger Danger and the Baja Breaker. Patrick gets underneath the Baja Breaker and takes it out. Nice undercut there. Patrick is, however, curbside. Another gentle approach by Scourge and does not do any damage, almost tips off the track. That thing just a little bit wide in the back for the track. Topo Fuel lines up. Looks like Petey fell out way back here. No penalty for doing that, just a penalty for going down early, which we've seen Cookie do recently. And now it's van time. We've got a curbside van. And it's taken a hit from the 70s van from Bikini Bottoms and going over. This time looks like that is probably out. Bumblebee takes out the Bikini Bottoms van and skids to a side position. And then it's barely affected by the Bugatti Type 59, another RLC vehicle. That thing gets thrown off the track and almost makes a recovery, gets tangled up in Bumblebee, goes over upside down and out. That's 2 times now. Don't need that front piece anymore though. Squidward shoots underneath the Econoline van, which had just come down, and that thing makes a recovery off of the other van. So at least one van is making it out of this match okay. Here comes the Camaro Bumblebee, followed up by Altered State, which tries to take Bumblebee off the track and does it. Bumblebee not eliminated though, at least not yet, and it looks like Bumblebee will make it out of the round after that hit from another van. That van, the 71 Chevy van, which is tossed around like it's nothing by Straight Pipes. Straight Pipes goes curbside, but what a hit. Sunny days indeed on that hit. Optimus Prime drives into position, not as nasty of a hit this time. Doesn't look like it sustained any additional damage yet, but now it's taken a hit from behind by the Sprint car. Pretty light tap there though. Sprint car gets thrown over again, back where it went last time. It almost makes the recovery, but can't do it. Out again. Vintage Vitriol not doing great with these little cars. Oh no, Cookie came down by herself again. That is illegal. That is the 3rd warning. Cookie will be given a 3-episode suspension for that maneuver. We are going to throw her in the horse trailer just to make sure she doesn't get up to any nastiness.
Oh, I blame myself.
That punishment might seem a little draconian, but you know, it's for Baby Cookie's safety. And we can't have Baby Cookie sliding down and affecting the outcome of the match. The hit by second wind mixes things up a little bit. The Scooby-Doo van starts to pull on Optimus's arm. Optimus then getting undercut by Mirage and the Lotus and is starting to tip over. That looks close to 45. I think we're gonna have to take a measurement on Optimus Prime. And it was a close call, but Optimus is in. 43 degrees, that's underneath 45. No elimination there. Good news for More Than Meets the Eye. They're getting 5 points. Not a single elimination in that round. Bikini Bottoms does great again too with 4 points. Vintage Vitriol a consistent 3, and Stranger Danger 2. Both those last 2 teams are gonna have to perform well in these next 2 rounds. Bikini and More Than Meets the Eye are doing great. Looks like the officials have dispatched a Klingon just to keep tabs on Cookie, make sure she doesn't try to get out and go down the track again. Here we go, round 3. We're gonna start off with Vintage Vitriol. Topo Fuel lines up, doesn't get very far down the track because it's so small. Scourge kinda helps out, pushes it up towards the front. And then the 70s van for the bottom starts to push both cars off of the track. Scourge handles it with those big arms, but Topo is starting to tip. Another hit from a van finishes Topo off. Scourge's legs still on the track. This time the sprint car just gets out of there, bounces off the tire on the back of that 71 Chevy van and escapes. Good recovery there for Vintage, they need that. Mirage gets a nice undercut on the van, but look at that recovery. What a beautiful flip over. 70s van does not have the same luck. That thing has been eliminated every time so far. This time it was Patrick that did the deed. Custom 77 Dodge van slots in. Takes a hit from the Bugatti, 3 cars lined up. Transformers Bumblebee flips the Bugatti over. It's not over yet though, as second wind gives the Bugatti a actual second wind. It perches on top of second wind. Transformers Bumblebee eliminated. A big hit from the Ford Econoline sends that Bugatti over Scourge, and it makes a recovery somehow. A vaulting hit and a great recovery. Vintage is doing much better this round. Altered State gets underneath that van, starts to push it up, then Bumblebee finishes the job. Another van down, Altered State still alive. Bumblebee trying to escape and can't quite do it after a hit from Straight Pipes, who then goes sideways. Altered State lives. Can Pipes get righted again? Yes, and then no. It goes over and will face elimination. Baja Breaker gets thrown up and over by the Lotus, upside down on the track. Stranger Danger not doing great in this round. Optimus storms down the track, blasts through all the cars, flips that Lotus over. Optimus started to tip, but then Squidward actually helps Optimus kind of get out of there and recover. Squidward continues to get penetration. Baja Breaker is thrown off the track, does not make a recovery. After that big hit from the Scooby-Doo van, little paint chipped off of Scooby-Doo in the back of that van from a hit. Pretty decent amount of eliminations in that round, 8 total. No teams particularly devastated in that round. Bikini Bottoms gets 3, another 3 for More Than Meets the Eye, 3 for Stranger Danger, and everybody gets 3. Vintage also. Bikini Bottoms and Transformers at 12. They just need 3 survivals and maybe some bonus points, and they're going to be in great shape. Vintage Vitriol is in trouble, but they might be able to pull this out yet. Scourge takes its place about halfway down the track, starting out first for this round. Sunny Day is not able to do much to Scourge. That is a big, fairly stable vehicle. Topo tosses the van forward and both cars lock in. Patrick comes in and messes everything up. Topo is eliminated, and the Sunny Days van is going over. Bumblebee finishes the job. That van is done. So too our Stranger Danger. They basically needed all the points in the round, and they're not going to get it. Patrick gets eliminated on that hit. Bumblebee escapes. Sprint car bounces back. Sprint car needs to survive, and it does. Vintage might still be in this, despite that one elimination. The Bumblebee Camaro causes curbsidedness for 2 vehicles. And then the Baja Breaker sends it up into the sky, and it lands it, perching between vans. Straight Pipes manages to escape, and the Baja Breaker is upside down. Somehow it gets right back up again, though, and drives off the track. The Lotus hits a 6, and does it survive? No, it does not. Vintage looks like they are done. Baja Breaker also went sideways. The Camaro is in trouble. Mirage can't get under the 70s van, and then the Econoline van does it for it. Takes that other van out, and then it's getting under another van. Vans. They're all over the place, but most of them are eliminated. Another loss for Vintage. They are certainly doomed. A massive undercut from Second Wind sends the Bugatti sky high. Did it make a recovery? It hit a 7, and did it land it? Flops over, and there it is, a recovery for the Bugatti and a height of 7. Second Wind definitely took out the Econoline van, though, and now Mirage is way underneath the other van. Optimus Prime a little bit late to the party, slides in. Optimus is starting to tip forward. Oh, that could be bad. Optimus just about faced first. The Scooby van gets taken out by Altered State. Another van goes down. Stranger Danger not going to get any bonus points. Oh, and as I say that, look at what happens. Squidward causes the Scooby-Doo van to right itself. That thing has never been eliminated, so at least Stranger Danger will get 1 bonus point. 8 more eliminations, and this time one of the teams didn't lose a single vehicle. Taking a look at the points, it was the Transformer team. They got 5 points. Bikini got 3. Stranger Danger only got 2. Vintage Vitriol only got 2. That's going to take More Than Meets the Eye up to 17 points. They are definitely going to be in the top 10. Bikini Bottoms are on the cusp. Taking a look at the bonus points for cars that were never eliminated. More Than Meets the Eye had 3 bonus points. That's going to rocket them up the charts. Bikini Bottoms had 2. That is going to help them. Stranger Danger had 1. That will not help them. And Vintage Vitriol didn't get a single one. Transformers are at 20, Bikini Bottoms at 17. Vintage and Stranger will have to try again, taking a look at the overall standings. Right now we have 7 teams that are guaranteed in, 4 teams that are on the edge with 16. It all depends on what happens in this final match. If you've ever wanted to sponsor cars and support Junkyard Joust, now is the time. There is a Black Friday sale going on for just a couple days. 25% off your first month. Just use this code. With the new season coming up, there's going to be lots of cars to sponsor. It's a lot of fun. You can also get it as a gift for someone you know. The Patreon is the way that I pay the crew, and it's how we get the episodes made. And I could use your help to keep the show going. Check out the different levels and see if one of them is right for you. And thanks to all my current patrons for making the show possible. Here are the 4 teams that still have a chance to make it in. It is Rabbit season, a Looney Tunes team. Winnebago is back with an all-new lineup. Winnebago itself will not be competing, just helping guide this team. Crusher Camaros, brand new team of all Camaros. And Calling All Cars, a team of old-school police cars. Winnebago hanging out, maybe helping keep an eye on Baby Cookie. And of course, to coach the Windstorm starting off in round 1, it will be Marvin the Martian, the big rig for Rabbit season. Marvin takes a hit from the Porsche Carrera for Winnebago and does not go off the track, buckles a little bit. Then the Porsche takes a hit from the lighter one of the 67 Camaros on Crusher Camaros. Dodge Coronet first up for Calling All Cars. Petey rides down and Pepe Le Pew goes flying off the track along with that Camaro, which makes a great recovery. Will the back of Pepe serve as a ramp? It will not. The Mazda 787B tosses it off the track and the Coronet. Double undercut. Pepe Le Pew hits a 6 and makes the recovery. That is great news for Rabbit season. Not so good for Calling All Cars. Also good for Windstorm. Powerful undercut there. And another Camaro comes down and continues the undercutting. Now the Porsche is getting undercut. 77 Dodge Royal Monaco, big car, sends a lot of cars flying off the track, but none of them are eliminated. Speedy Gonzalez slams into the line. The Mazda escapes without a scratch. Speedy gets undercut by the 66 Porsche 986 Carrera, gets thrown over sideways and taken down. Second elimination of the round. That's a loss for Rabbit season. That Porsche gets thrown around by a shot from the Camaro. 18 Copo Camaro takes down the Dodge Royal Monaco but cannot eliminate the Porsche Carrera. 67 Ford Fairlane locks it in and then takes a hit from Elmer Fudd, who drives up on the back of the squad car and settles back in before getting annihilated by the Mazda RX-7 FC Pandem. But then Elmer Fudd makes a recovery, that weight on the bottom helping out. A hit by the 67 Camaro causes the Ford Fairlane to go up, but it does not go over. The Ford Fairlane is curbside. 59 DeSoto locks it in. Daffy Duck smacks it around a little bit, but no eliminations. A nice hit by the 96 Toyota Chaser, but it doesn't do any damage, although actually some paint flakes went flying all over the place. Daffy goes up, does not go over on that hit from the Camaro. There goes Daffy eliminated. That's going to be another loss for Rabbit season. The Camaro Z28 and the 63 Chevy Biscayne are going to survive the round. That was the last car. Only 4 eliminations sustained in round 1. A promising start for some of these teams. Let's see who's getting the points. Crusher Camaros, not a single elimination, 5 points. Winnebago Windstorm, great start, 5 points. Calling All Cars with a middle-of-the-road 3. And the same for Rabbit season, 3 points. But this is just the beginning. Still, that is how you want to start things off in this final round for Camaros and Winnebago Windstorm. And we're gonna do it again, round 2. Here we go, starting off with the Camaros. If at the end of this match, all those teams that have 16 points are still in contention, we will have to have a runoff. That will basically be a regular Junkyard Joust match where all the teams with 16 compete. And depending on how many slots are open in the top 10, we will find out who can move on. Marvin the Martian does a good job of surviving that hit. The Porsche is curbside. Takes a hit from the 69 Camaro. So far in this round, just a lot more great survives. Look at that turnover by the Porsche. PD goes flying. Still no eliminations in the round. We've got some good surviving teams right here. The Dodge Royal Monaco kind of ramps off of Pepe Le Pew and manages to just about escape, then does it on that undercut by the Mazda. The Mazda wreaks havoc, takes out the 69 Camaro, and is starting to get under the Dodge Coronet. Copo Camaro finishes off the Coronet. Calling all cars gonna be the second loss of this round. The Mazda made it all the way up to the front and now starts to get shunted off the track after having done its undercutting job by Speedy Gonzalez. The DeSoto slams into position and the Copo starts to go over. Look at this, the Mazda is actually pushing it sideways, still doing work despite being off the track. And now the Copo Camaro comes back again on that hit from the Porsche Carrera. For some reason, the Carrera cannot get underneath the DeSoto with that low back end protecting it. And now Elmer Fudd slams through the line and mixes things up in a big way. No eliminations yet, but that hit by the Ford Fairlane is going to finish off the DeSoto. A loss of a teammate. Never a good thing in the joust. The Mazda RX-7 Pandem speeds into position, does not get an elimination, but the Ford Fairlane is going over. So is Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd goes up. It looks like that weight on the bottom of Elmer Fudd might be a little loose. And the hit by Daffy kind of mixes things up, but no eliminations. The Chevy Biscayne hits the line. Elmer Fudd goes up but stays level. Final car of the round, the Toyota Chaser gets a little action. Looks like that Biscayne is not close enough to be counted as out, and neither is Speedy. That means there were only 3 eliminations in this round. A lot of points are going to be given out. All the teams at 16 points have to be sweating right now. Rabbit Season cleans up with 5 points. Windstorm, another 5 points. They have not had an elimination yet. Crusher Camaros did lose 1, they still get 4. And Calling All Cars another 3. Not looking great for them right now, but all the other teams, very solid performances. 10, 9, and 8 are top 3. Windstorm will start us off in the next round. They are looking great at 10 points. Still 2 rounds to go. Winnebago could just about cement their position in the top 10 after this round. The DeSoto cannot take out that Porsche Carrera. That thing is great at recovering. Solid entry for the Windstorm. Marvin the Martian bams into the DeSoto and sticks to it. They all back down the track. And that light 67 Camaro can't do much but sort of inch them forward. 66 Porsche Carrera takes a shot at the Camaro and it recovers again over by the Porsche. Another car that is good at recovering. The Dodge Coronet takes a shot at that Porsche, but it is wily and survives. Pepe Le Pew slams into the line. PD goes flying up towards the crates. The Coronet is going off the track. Will it survive? No, it flips over and is eliminated by the Copo. Wait a minute, I spoke too soon. It slowly rolls over and survives the hit. That was pretty great. Mazda cannot get underneath the Copo Camaro. Oh, but then it gets a little help from the Ford Fairlane and takes that Camaro down. First elimination of the round. Speedy pushes the Mazda, continues the undercutting. Pepe sits on top of the Mazda. Slightly heavier 67 Camaro pushes Speedy underneath the Ford Fairlane. It goes up on top and then is taken out by the Pandem. A nice undercut by that car throws it over, and the Ford is sliding sideways. What will happen on this next hit? It goes over, and look at that, it almost makes the recovery, but the Carrera gets in the way. So close to a recovery. Elmer Fudd slams into the line, loses that weight on the bottom. It finally detaches, and we've got a 4-car pileup. Look at it go higher and higher. Elmer Fudd falls off, and without that weight flips over and is eliminated. We'll have to do some repairs before the next round and get that attached properly. The 4-car pileup finally topples. Pepe Le Pew flips over, cannot make the recovery. It was so close. 2 cars that were very close to recovering over there but couldn't manage it. The 69 Camaro is taken down. A nice hit by the Chevy Biscayne. Daffy hits the line. The Mazda is going up. It is not over though. The Toyota makes an escape at the last second, and that is the end of round 3. We got more eliminations in this round, 6 to be exact. Not one of them, the Mazda. It is not beyond 90 degrees. It will be counted in, and Winnebago does it again, the 3rd round in a row with 5 points. Calling All Cars had a great round, 4 points for them. Rabbit Season, a middle of the road, 3 points. And Crusher Camaro's only 2 this round. That is going to slow them down. Rabbit Season is gaining 11 points, tied with Camaro's. Winnebago a perfect 15. Calling All Cars at 10. They still have a shot at 16 points if they have a good round. They will start us off in round 4. This is for all the beans. DeSoto lining up. Calling All Cars cannot have a single elimination, or they are not going to make it to the top 10. And Windstorm's Porsche Carrera ends their chances immediately, taking out the DeSoto. Calling All Cars cannot get 16 points, even with bonus points. And now Crusher Camaros are in deep trouble. They struggled last round. If they have another bad round, they too will not make it. They needed the bonus point that Camaro that just got eliminated would have provided. Marvin the Martian hopping over the safety rail, pushing that Porsche Carrera around, and it gets the takedown with the help from the Chevy Biscayne. The first takedown to happen to Winnebago Windstorm in this match. That's a loss of a car and a bonus point for Winnebago, but they've got plenty. A weird hit by the Pandem. It turns sideways, takes out another Camaro. Bad news for Crusher Camaros. And the Pandem, does it make the recovery? Yes, it slides over, and that's close, but it's looking like a recovery. Petey goes flying out a little early out of Pepe Le Pew. The Dodge Royal Monaco stirs the pot a little bit. That other Camaro ends up next to the other one, upside down. The Pandem has made a full recovery. The Royal Monaco is thrown over and is turning sideways. Ooh, a nice recovery there by the 67 Camaro. After a nice undercut by the Mazda, which is now suddenly taken out by a hit from Elmer Fudd. The repaired and heavy Elmer Fudd takes it down. Kind of falling apart here for Winnebago in the final moments. That's 2 eliminations for them. Elmer Fudd tips over despite the weight. And now the 69 Camaro damaging the Dodge Coronet. Pepe Le Pew escapes. What on earth is happening to Winnebago Windstorm? Now that Porsche Carrera eliminates the other Camaro, but flips over upside down on the track. Can it make a recovery here after a hit from Speedy? It does. Wow. Things look tense there for Winnebago, unbelievably. Elmer Fudd is thrown off the track, goes upside down. That'll be a loss for Rabbit Season. The Camaro speeds under the Ford Fairlane, and then it gets thrown up and over, but then comes back. What a recovery by that car. The Ford Fairlane looking like a promising car. The Toyota not able to take it down. Now the Camaro Z28 is starting to escape the track after a hit from Daffy. Final car of the round. Looks like that Camaro will be fine. The most eliminations of any round so far, 8. That was a devastating round for all the teams, except Rabbit Season, who is getting 4 points. And boy, did they need it. Calling All Cars gets 3. I don't think it will be enough. Winnebago Windstorm gets 3. They're looking fine. And Crusher Camaro's only 2. Another bad round for them. It did not go well for them after that great first round. Round 4 aftermath. Winnebago at 18. Rabbit at 15. Crusher and Calling at 13. Bonus points. Here we go. This is going to be important for the bottom 3 teams. Winnebago gets 3 bonus points. They are looking fantastic. They will be in the top 10, way high up. Not a bad performance by Calling All Cars. They get 1 bonus point, but it won't be enough. Crusher Camaros also did okay. 1 bonus point, still not enough. And Rabbit Season gets 1 bonus point. Let's see where that puts them. Rabbit Season gets 16 points. They will barely eke out a spot in the top 10. Winnebago easily in the top 10. And now what this means, taking a look at the overall standings, there's gonna have to be a runoff between the 5 teams that got 16 points. There are only 2 slots available in the top 10. That means those 5 teams will fight it out, regular joust rules, and the last 2 teams left standing will make it into the top 10. That will be the very next episode of Junkyard Joust. We're going to see Bonsai Boys, Sugar Crash, Valley of Green Gold, Wiener Magic, and Rabbit Season duke it out, and 2 of them will earn the right to compete in a new season of Junkyard Joust. Don't forget to take advantage of the Junkyard Joust patron sale. You can try it out, see what you think. You can get a car sponsorship for one of your friends or family. Check it out over at patreon.com/junkyardjoust. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on The Joust.